The socials are a great way of screening, both for you and for her. You screen each other to realize, yes, we do want to go out on a date. That's what Tanya and I did. After 10 bottles of champagne, she agreed to go on a date with me, but that's what we did at that social. We screened each other, and that's what you want to try and do.
Writing is not necessary at all. I absolutely understand why men want to write some letters. If I were doing a tour, if I were in your shoes, I'd probably write a few letters before I go. I mean, now I've been on so many tours, it's not a big deal, I could just go. But I know there was a time when I thought I'd like to write a few letters. I mean, I'd like to know no matter what's going to happen, I'm stepping into this environment. It looks amazing, but it's so polarly opposite of what I experienced dating here in the States. I just don't know what to expect, really. So I'd probably write a few letters to somebody that I know. I'm going to meet a couple of women that I've written to if nothing else happens, and I understand that's what drives correspondence. If you're of the mind, like my friend is in his question, well, what if I don't really need to write a few letters? What if I'm okay without the letters? Good for you. Because look, you book a singles cruise, you're probably not going to be communicating with people you're going to meet on the singles cruise before you go on the cruise, right? And that's okay. They're friendly, they're very approachable. 30 minutes of conversation, you can blow by months and months of correspondence, and you can do that very, very easily.
Ryan wants to know, say you're writing someone, is it cheaper or better to meet them one-on-one or at a social?
I prefer socials. It's cheaper when writing someone, but it's a lot different when you're meeting the one.
Well, yeah, and if you're writing someone, and if your question is it cheaper to meet her at a social or one-on-one, I would say it's better and probably cheaper to meet her at the social. And the reason for that is that sometimes when you're writing back and forth, you have a different idea of what that person's like. You build up an idea of what that person's like in your mind. And so you have this wonderful image of that person.
Yeah.
But when you're in front of that person, all the senses are at play, right? And so when you meet at a social, there's less pressure on you because you're speed dating, you're getting to meet. And when you go up to her and you're talking with her face to face, all of a sudden you'll know within the first couple minutes whether or not there's going to be a connection or not. And if not, you just move on. But if there is, it's great, you set up the individual date. But if you're on an individual date and 5 minutes into it, there's no connection, even though the letters were good, but there's no connection now you're stuck on this date for the next hour and a half, and it's just like, oh my God, this is not good. All right, so yes, go to the social, meet her, and then see what happens.
That's best.
Mark says, I don't understand why you would write letters until the cows come home instead of getting on a plane and going over. I don't understand it either, Mark, but that's what a lot of men do. But why do men do that? Why do men get stuck in that virtual correspondence or that virtual chat fantasy? Well, there's some uncomfortable truths around that, guys, but it's not all your fault. But why is this industry driven by tens of thousands of men writing lonely letters for months, if not years at a time, to women on the internet? Why? Because it becomes convenient, right? You're busy, you may not have the money to go on a tour, but I met a lot of men who do, but it's very, very convenient and easy. And we're very silly men, and we convince ourselves that you can actually conduct a real relationship without meeting somebody, without ever hearing her voice. I'm telling you right now, if you think you're in love with someone you're writing to and you've never heard her voice and have never talked to her, you are not in love. Or you might be, but she's not. And that is the truth. And there are never, ever exceptions to that. Ever. At the end of the day, you have to really listen to that inner world. You have to go out in solitude and ask yourself, get real with the man in the mirror. What am I doing here? Am I really doing something that's convenient and easy but amounts to little more than perpetuating fantasy? Am I really doing that? Maybe it's time for me to go and meet this person I'm writing to, or go meet people I'm not writing to. Maybe it's just time for me to get face to face and make it real. And there are going to be challenges, and there are going to be frustrating days. Every relationship has them. By the way, this is how your relationship gets stronger, right? You've got to test it, and you've got to come shining through those difficult tests. But you'll do that. And then you'll reach a point where you've tested the relationship and you're okay. And you realize you're in love with somebody who loves you truly. And she's great for you. And then you do something about it. And that's always a better option than correspondence and chat.
Join men from all over the world as they take a trip and find their future brides. Interested? Learn more at
Asian-Women.com.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new.